Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Ben and Sin. I am Sin, this is
Ben.
And today we are going to tell you our 5 wedding planning nightmares. In my opinion, this pertains more to me than him because I feel like I get stressed every time I think about this wedding. And he's just like... I feel like it's always that way with weddings. Like the woman is always more stressed than the man. But I feel like in our case, it's just extreme. So let's just hop right into it. The first wedding planning nightmare is people's opinions. You have 2 families, 2 separate entities, 2 separate groups of friends that all have opinions on where you should get married, how you should get married, what you should do, how much you should spend, like just the type of wedding to have, whether it's on the beach, whether it's at a resort, whether it's on a cruise. Like people will always have opinions about your wedding. But I feel like in our case, the people that have opinions, if we don't take them, like they just get upset. So like it's super stressful because you want people to enjoy the process. You want to enjoy the process yourself, but people's opinions just stress you out. I can't tell you how many times I've already changed the way we're intending to get married because it's like people always have something to say and it's just like whatever. Even though I want to do what I want to do, I have to also consider the fact that the people that I really want there for the wedding, and to an extent their opinion does matter, because I have to accommodate the people that I really want there. Feel me? So it's like people's opinions it stresses me
out. Second one, being financially prepared. If you don't have money, you can't do nothing.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's a hard situation because the average wedding, people take 1 to 2 years to start preparing. And it's like when you think about what kind of wedding you want to have, and then you also have to think about how much it costs, that in itself is stressful because regardless of how you choose to get married, everyday life doesn't stop. The bills are still there. Anything could happen between now and whenever we plan to get married, and we could lose all of our money that we put towards the wedding or whatever. So it's like being financially prepared is an important factor, because the one thing that I definitely don't want to do, that I see a lot of people doing, is taking a loan out to get married and then paying it back. Like that's just, to me, that's crazy to me. If that's what you choose to do, that's fine. But me personally, I think it's outrageous to go broke for a one-day event. Like that doesn't make sense to me. The next one is the time being passed. So we had agreed on getting married in 2020. We've already been engaged for a year, and honestly it still feels like just yesterday. So it's crazy how much time we've already lost that could have been spent planning. So it's like I definitely don't want to wait last minute, because again, life happens. We are busy people. 5 days a week we're gone 8 hours out of the day, and the bulk of the hours that we work are the hours that venues are usually open and available for things like cake tastings and stuff like that. So it's like a lot of our stuff, I don't know how we're gonna make this work, and that's why it stresses me out so much. But at the same time, that's the reason why I don't want to get a planner, because I feel like that's unnecessary money that could be put towards the wedding itself. Next one is
people pushing their services. You know, like the sellers or whoever that you're going to work with, they're always gonna be like, when are you ready? I'm not rushing you, but they keep doing follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how, from their point of view, they doing business, so they always need a buyer.
Mm-hmm. Because in their perspective, the moment you go MIA or you go silent, to them, they think you are already looking into another vendor. So it's like they're seeing it as a loss. So that's why they feel like they have to keep bugging you. Hey, do you still want to do this? Hey, do you want to come and take a look at the venue? Hey, are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? They're going to keep trying and push their services on you. And I can't tell you how many people have contacted me and said, you know, are you looking for a wedding planner and things like that? Like, I can charge you X amount of money for like per week or per month, or up until the date of the wedding, I can charge you this amount of money per service, or whatever the case may be. And it's just like, again, it just worries me. We intend to pay for our wedding ourselves, so every penny counts, because we're young. We don't want to get married and then after we're married we're like, okay, what now? We don't have any money left. So I'm trying so hard when it comes to this wedding to squeeze pennies where I can and try to prevent like certain services from basically being rendered, because I don't want to spend money where I can't afford it. Especially because I can't only think of my pockets, I have to think of his as well. The last one is almost every single possible bride and groom's nightmare. It's the guest list. I've always heard that the guest list is always going to be your most stressful part that you have to deal with when it comes to your wedding, because you have to consider the fact that, let's say you only want 75 people at your wedding, 80 people at your wedding. You have to consider, if I invite so-and-so, they may be married. If they're married, you have to invite their significant other or their husband or wife or whatever the case may be. So that's already 2 people. If you invite a family, you have to consider the fact that they're going to probably want to come with their kids and things like that. So all of that causes the numbers to pile up, and before you know it, you have a guest list of like 200 people, and it gets so out of control. And if you decide to, like, I remember I was putting the list together, and then I said, okay, if I haven't spoken to you in 2 years, you're coming off the list. And like, my list literally went down to 50 people. But then it was like, okay, I have to put this person back because they're family, and I can't completely X out this portion of my family. I can't completely say that, oh, this person has never reached out to me, so I don't want to see them at my wedding. Because there are people, you know, that you care about, that you really want there, friends that you really want there, and it's just, it causes the whole thing to just become chaotic, especially dealing with the fact that people feel some type of way if you don't invite them, and a whole bunch of nonsense that I just hate dealing with when it comes to the guest list. I've changed my guest list so many times. His guest list remains super bare, and I know that it can cause a problem, because at the end of the day, if I tell you your portion is like, I need you to give me 25 people, and you only give me 5, I know for a fact you have 25 family members alone that you would like to have at your wedding, right?
I don't think so.
Definitely think so, because you know why I think so? I remember we were having a conversation, and your aunt was listing people, and you like, oh damn, yeah, put them on the list. So it's people that you don't automatically think of, and people you may come up with over time. And again, that causes your list to pile up, and before you know it, it's like, what the heck, we're way over what we intended to have at our wedding. I refuse to have more than 100 people at my wedding. I can't. Like, that's way too much. And I don't know, especially considering the fact that, like, we're one of our options is to do it like overseas too. And there's just so many factors that go into it that it's like, I don't know, maybe an overseas wedding is the best, because not many people want to spend that money to travel. Yeah, but those are our wedding nightmares, mainly my wedding nightmares, and that's the reason why we are still in square one of our wedding planning a year after we have been engaged. I mean, I've tried discussing things with him, but he has like finance tunnel vision. So in his mind, if the money isn't there, there's nothing to talk about. But it's like, you have to plan. And I feel like that's the problem that we have. He has finance tunnel vision, and I'm like, this needs to be planned, because in order for us to know, you know, a lot of places they want a deposit at least a year in advance and things like that. So we have to figure out what we're gonna do, where we're gonna do it, who's gonna be there, cap off how many people we want. And it's just so much, and it's just so chaotic, and it drives me insane. So if there are any people out there who would like to wedding plan for free, hit my line, but that's probably not gonna happen. So this is gonna continue to be a nightmare up until we get married, just so you know. And I plan to go extra hard so that we can both get on the wedding planning bandwagon, because it's getting crunch time. And I feel like we have to really put our best foot forward and get started on planning this wedding, because last minute wedding planning equals a disastrous wedding, and I don't want that. I want my wedding to be memorable. Every woman dreams of like an elaborate, beautiful wedding that's always memorable and all this other stuff. I want to cherish my wedding. I don't want to do anything last minute and have a disaster. Feel me?
Yeah, I got you.
You got me?
Yeah,
You sure?
I do.
You sure? You hear me or you got me?
Got you.
Okay, so you guys saw it here first. He agreed to step on it. With that being said, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, advice, put them down in the comment section below. And we ask that you like, comment, subscribe, smash that notification bell so that you guys are notified when we post again. I don't know if my hair looks crazy or what. I don't know, but I didn't feel like doing my hair. So without further ado.
I would like to see this comment, so please.
About what? Advice?
Yeah.
Really? You did 3 and 2. Something is wrong with you. Again. You didn't count? Oh my gosh, man. Fire the co-star.